Welcome back to the Diversity Project. I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and today is our kickoff event and our special 9/11 tribute. We have been bringing in amazing guests sharing their stories about the day of 9/11 and really just bringing forward information and resources about who we are as a community and how, Long Island stays strong to support one another. So importantly, programs like this cannot take place without our sponsors. So we'd like to thank the Equity First Foundation, a local not-for-profit that provides financial education to all. You can find them at www.equityfirstfoundation.org, and Jet Direct Mortgage, helping veterans and first responders every day with low rates, fast closings, and amazing customer support. The Diversity Project will be containing all of our information about our sponsors and our guests. So if you hear anything inspiring and you want to make sure that you touch base with anybody on our show, you can visit us on our social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and more. So right now we are back in the studio and we have an amazing, you're like that out of the ordinary guest that we don't always normally see. So we have Michael Lucchese. Did I say that correctly?
Lucchese.
All right. Listen, my last name is Kulch and I have no vowels, so we're okay with that one.
I've had a million pronunciations.
Which is great. So most people may not necessarily know who you are, and actually somebody brought your attention to me when we were getting ready to do this show. So you actually are the founder, administrator of our new really super popular Facebook page calling Bring Back the Light Tribute. So tell me a little bit about that day and what made you decide that you needed to really start voicing your opinion.
Well, just like any other day that I have, I get up early in the morning, 3:30, drive to work in downtown Manhattan, where I've worked for 20 years. I've been in Manhattan for 40 years, but down near the Trade Center for the last 20. Listen to the news every day.
Yeah.
Try not to listen to the news every day, but, every once in a while you pop it on for a few minutes. And, since March, even if you turn the news off for a week, you turn it on a week later, the news is worse.
Yep.
A week later, the news is worse. It just wasn't getting better and better. Finally, they announced that they weren't going to do the light tribute. And I get annoyed at some of the news sometimes. Sure. And, I go on Facebook, for my own page, and me and my friends like to, complain a little bit or bicker about whatever's going on currently. So I was just sitting at work early in the morning before my startup and said, let's see if we can just make a little group for me and my friends to complain some more. Complain about crooked politicians, complain about radical organizations, oppression of healthy people, all this. And then finally this canceling of the lights I felt it. And I said, let me just put this page up and send out 100 invitations. Maybe I'll get 50 people back we can all have our little, complaining festival.
Now, this page has only been up for a little over a week now?
August 14th it went up.
Okay. And why don't you tell everybody how many people as of today are currently following your Facebook page?
At the moment, we are over 197,000 members, and we're looking forward to hitting 200,000 quickly before 9/11, hopefully.
Now, what about 9/11 inspired you? Were you part of 9/11, involved in 9/11, lost somebody in 9/11?
Well, my father was the structural supervisor for the Trade Center. He was in charge of the carpenters for maybe 6 or 7 years, and he was involved in the first bombing. I worked a little bit uptown. I was like at 14th Street and 8th Avenue at the time, and right out of nowhere, I got a call from my Aunt Dolly. We speak when I'm at home. I don't know how she had my beeper number at the time.
Okay.
I called her and she said, I heard something happened at the Trade Center. Could you look into it? So a few minutes passed and we discovered there was an explosion, the B2 level. And I was like, well, that's where my dad works. So I started hitting his beeper 100 times. I just kept beeping and beeping and beeping. He finally called me back to let me know that he was okay. But sadly, he was 5 of the 6 people that died are people that he worked with daily.
So there was personal impact as
Oh yes,
well.
big time. He was so distraught by all of that. You know, he was miserable for months by it. You know, you don't show it on the outside, but you know, family can feel it.
Absolutely. And I think what's important too is I've been following the Facebook page, and there are so many stories and photos and remembrances for people to keep the memories of their loved ones alive. I know that you cannot possibly monitor every single post. Who's helping you make sure that the information, and I'll say this politely, and I'm sure there are haters and there are people that are on the page that sometimes don't have nice things to say, right? You have to take those down.
We're fighting against that stuff as hard as we can.
You know, you're out there doing something good, and there's always somebody that wants to tear you down. They're just not happy for the success and for your ability to share such good work.
Or not happy for themselves.
Absolutely. So who helps you monitor the page?
I have 3 amazing people. They are, let me see, I wrote down what I think they are. I'm sorry for the pause.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Team. We call ourselves the Tower Memorial Guardians. That's the team name we gave ourselves. That was selected by one of our members. We call him Phantom.
Okay.
He remains in the background, and he's very stealth in how he handles and monitors the page. And then I also have Marianne Salasinski Noonan.
Okay.
Is one of the moderators, and she's such a sleuth, and she's so smart, and she's so on top of everything on this page. And she brings things to me about all of this that I have no concept of, and she brings things that really make a great contribution overall.
I was just going to say, so when the moderators are going through the page, is there any 1 or 2 stories that might be, you know, that really impacted you, where you really had to stop? I mean, look, call it for what it is. I'm on social media. A lot of us are there and we're scrolling. We're not necessarily really taking the time to digest the information in front of us. So has there been any 1 or 2 stories that maybe the moderators have given you that you've read that really have created impact?
Well, additionally, there's Nina Priori, who is my other moderator. She's another very attentive person as far as dealing with all of this. Could you say that question again?
Yeah, sure. Has there been any particular stories that the moderators have given to you that have really created impact?
Well, we all read the page all day, every day, and the impact for me is the stories of the victims who lost loved ones. I think those are the most poignant stories on the whole page, because everyone reacts to those on a deeply personal level. People who say, well, I had nothing to do with this, but when I read these stories, I feel so sad and in touch with everyone. It's like it's given everyone this one-on-one personal touch to specify which stories affect me the most. I'm going to say all of them except the ones that are, you know, mean or, you know, people are mean-spirited, but all the stories have their own deep
and they have
effect.
Their own, absolutely. Now, I know we have your wife in the studio.
Unique, yes.
Yeah, your wife in the studio with you today, too. When you take on a project like this, which is something that obviously you were not expecting was going to organically grow the way that it did, how has it been impacting you personally and in your personal life? Because I'm sure it's taking time out. And how is it making you feel emotionally?
My wife is the most amazing support I have in my life. And believe it or not, I can do no wrong to her, nor do I plan to. But we go along. Our life is fine. You know, we'll sit on the couch, watch television. I'll monitor for a while. I'll put the phone down. We'll watch television or have dinner or whatever. It hasn't affected us in any negative way because of her.
And I love that, because a lot of people get so personal and emotional, and they allow the posts or they allow that to come home with them, and it creates a lot of adverse feelings. You know, a lot of times. Now, we know that we have the Tribute of Light coming up, the ceremony. Do you have plans to attend, and what does that look like for you?
I actually do have plans to go down there. There is one march that we're talking about attending that's going to start in the West Village at Greenwich Street and Spring Street. Mm-hmm. And they're going to head on down to the Trade Center, you know, just to march in solidarity. I reached out to a couple of some people announced on the page that they are going to announce their father and their mother's name.
That's excellent.
And they reached out to me on IM saying that they want to meet me.
which is nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm going to just be walking around the grounds, and
Yeah.
we're going to meet on some corner and just hug or something. I don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen at
Yeah,
that point,
yeah.
but you have this connection.
Yeah, for sure.
And tell me quickly, just because we have 30 seconds left, tell me, what do you think September 12th is going to look like for you? So this was a whole build-up about September 11th. What does September 12th look like?
We're going to keep the focus of the page as a memorial for people to come and reflect in a solemn way, and maybe in some way to bring a smile to people's faces. The plan is just to continue the page in a positive way.
I love it.
And hope that we can, just make everyone share kindness and love.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to come in today.
Thanks. It was nice to be here. Good to have me.